Oh, welcome back to another edition of the Washington Nationals here on OOTP 27. And the game must have heard me say that Melvin Jimenez is the hot hand and he will be starting at catcher for us. And he proceeds to get flu-like symptoms. The Minnesota Twins have delivered a poisoned pizza to our hotel room. What is going on here? This cannot happen. Melvin Jimenez out for a week. We can't justify him having on the roster with that amount of time out. So Miguel Caraballo is now our backup catcher because his defensive ratings are not really as good as Jimenez. We're probably going to let Ford continue to play and see if he can turn it around here, but if he doesn't do anything in game 1, I might just quickly switch to Caraballo. It depends, but Caraballo, he might get some run here in the World Series. So as we know, we're taking on the Minnesota Twins. We are making no other changes to our roster here. Kevin Yoder's been with us through this whole way through. I like his 80 stuff on the team, so we're not going to take off him for Agro. I'm not even sure if Agro's ready to play anyways. But let's take a look at this Minnesota Twins ball club, who were the wild card team coming out of the AL Central, as the White Sox were the division winner. But Twins make it all the way to the World Series here. And then the main thing you got to know about this Twins team is Cody Thomas. It's the matchup of two-way stars. Cody Thomas, big-time gap power, he doesn't have insane back-to-ball skills, insane power out to the gaps, but not quite a home run hitter. Very similar to Luke Corsia with the ratings here, but then he's also a really, really good pitcher, as Cody Thomas is. So we have to worry about him. And then the rest of their pitching, Taj Bradley, still good rated. Didn't have his best season, but he did have a bunch of wins, I do know. Robbie Snelling is a really good pitcher for them. Lefty, 65 overall, so some really good arms here. Mackenzie Gore is on this staff, former national. Not in our series, but former national in real life. And then it doesn't look like their bullpen is really that impressive. Zach Agnos is their closer. And then just a bunch of random guys pieced out here and there. Ben Joyce. Wrecked Ben Joyce is on this staff. And Rhett Lauder, did not mean to do that. Rhett Lauder out of Wake Forest is on this staff as well. So yeah, take a look at the hitting side of things. Mason Wynn is their shortstop. Basically all glove at this point. Did have a good offensive season, but that's his first good offensive season in a long time. Quentin Young at third base, big time pop out of him. Kenny Fenelon. Why is this guy on my... I guess he's on my interested because he must have... I don't remember why this guy's on my interested. I must have been trying to trade for him at something at one point. But this guy now with the Twins was really good for them, not good for Texas this season, as another big bopper in the lineup for them. Adele Amador, former member of our team, is their second baseman. He's been really good for them since he came over, but this year, down year for him. I can't believe that Amador is actually that good for them. That's crazy. Wow. He had a 26 home run season for them last year. That's unbelievable. But yeah, Amador's on this team. Von Lackey is their backup catcher. Patrick Bailey is their starting catcher with his 80 grade framing. Jack Toft is a good bat in left field. Beechwood, Ohio. Okay. Brendan Summerhill out of Arizona. Not a very good player, but a name I recognize. And this guy's name I recognize as well. I forget for why, but whatever. And then they have a 65 potential guy on the bench because he's not quite fully developed, but he does have some good Zach Corsia type high contact, gap power, speed profile, but no real defensive home aside from first base. And I've also realized now that they play Cody Thomas at first base rather than DH as their two-way guy. So that's pretty crazy. All right, folks, it is Game 1 of the 2034 World Series. We are looking to repeat here. Cody Thomas leading off for them, DHing and starting on the day, as we have Tarek Skubal going Game 1 because him and Hardcastle are fully ready to go. So it's going to be Skubal, Hardcastle, and then probably Schlittler and then Harris to go for us. But we shall see how it shakes out. But Game 1, Tarek Skubal, let's get into it. I should also mention that Castillo is playing center field for us, as Skubal works to score this top half, and Thomas works to score this bottom half. And Scooble is hurt. And it's a back injury. I am tempted to have Dax Hardcastle come out as a follower, but I think we might just go Kleeman as a follower. So Kleeman's going to come in as a follower for us. Runner on second with 2 outs. As Brendan Summerhill grounds one at the third base, 3 down. We're now on to the bottom half of the inning. Offense is threatening. Runners on the corners here with 1 out and Luis Hernandez up. Hits one well to left field, but not well enough. What a weird animation there on that catch. Robs of a home run. He was like 10 feet short of it. What? Okay. So it's a sac fly. Anything else? No. So it's a 1-0 Nationals lead, top 3. And they tie it up immediately with a solo shot by Bohan Adderley. Kleeman in some trouble, runner on second with 1 out. Mason Wynn, I mean, that is through Dylan O'Reilly's legs. Runners on the corners. Quentin Young, ground ball. They take a lead here. 2 down. Former National Del Amador comes up, and he pops it up to the third baseman, Hernandez, for out number 3. But the Twins take a 2-1 lead here in this ball game. We do nothing at the plates. Kleeman in some trouble, runner on second, 1 out. Works a ground ball from Summerhill, that's 2 down. And then Adderley is going to fly one out to center field for out number 3. So move things on bottom 4. Offense trying to threaten, but it's a runner on second with 2 outs here for Brady Ebel, who takes an 0-2 pitch to deep right field. Out of here. 2-run blast, and the Nationals right back on top. Brady Ebel down 0-2, fights off. Big time stuff. 3-2 ball game. Nothing else going in the inning. Scoreless frame from Kleeman, rather. And now bottom 5, we're threatening here. First and second, nobody out for Jerry Harris, who strike 3. I mean, that's entirely Patrick Bailey. That's entirely Patrick Bailey getting the strikeout. And then Feliz swinging at a bad pitch to make it 1-2. And then popping one up to left field for the second out of the inning. So we're going to strand these guys, aren't we? Maybe not. James Wood, left center. That's down into the gap up against the wall, folks. That's going to plate at least 1 run, possibly 2. A 2-run double makes it a 5-2 ball game. We're up by 3. Is Luke Korsha going to do anything as they turn to the bullpen? He is not. So that's the 3rd out, but we have a 3-run lead. Kleeman in some trouble. Runners on the corners, 1 out. As they turn to this youngster off the bench. We're going to turn on to some of our high leverage guys here. We want a strikeout here, so we're going to go Jose Rodriguez. Full count. Struck him out. 2 down. Brings up Summerhill. Snap throw to first. Struck out the next guy. That is what you bring in Rodriguez for. Does it to perfection. 5-2 lead remains intact. On to the 6th. Ebel doesn't do anything, but Hernandez doubles. Dylan O'Reilly against the lefty here. Spits on ball 4. Not even Patrick Bailey could frame that one. And then Harry Ford's going to ground into an inning. Oh, no, they actually don't. They only get the runner at first. So 2 down. Runners on second and third here for Castillo. We're going to... I'm tempted to let... We're going to bring in Sirota. He immediately just goes down on 3 pitches. Awesome. Good stuff. On to the top of the 7th, where we will, we'll see what we get against the first 2 guys here. First batter, Bohan Adderley. And that's down the line. All right. That's probably going to be 2 bases. It is indeed. Leadoff double for Adderley. And we're going to take Rodriguez out of the game now to bring on Miguel Sime. First batter up for Sime is Patrick Bailey, who flies one to right field. Runner is tagging up, so now 90 feet away from scoring, and now we have Sime in to possibly get some strikeouts here. Cody Thomas, full count. Right back to the pitcher. That works too. Throws over to first, 2 down. Mason Wynn goes down swinging. Sime keeps it at a 5-2 game, doing his job. Offense does nothing. Sime here in the 8th. Gives up a leadoff double. Let's see what he can do here. Gets a pop fly. That should just be 1 down. Now it brings up Fenelon, the right-hander. Struck him out. Man, 1 batter too long. As we throw out the runner at the plate and it's still a 5-2 game, hell yes. On to the 8th. Anything going for the offense? No. So a 3-run game. You know what time it is. Here in the 9th, it's Bobby Matamoros, who lets the first 2 runners on. And now Jack Toft is up as a pinch hitter. 5-4-3. 5-4-3 double play. There's 2, runner on third. And it's Cody Thomas. Ground ball at the shortstop. Easy out for Feliz. Matamoros doesn't get it done in the typical way, but he still works the save, and we take Game 1 of the World Series 1-0 here in the series for the Nationals in a 5-2 victory here in Game 1. 2-hit game for Ebel, Hernandez, 1-hit game for Wood, Corsia, and Ford. As Skubal gets hurt, Kleeman gives us 3 2/3, Rodriguez, Sime, and then Matamoros the rest of the way. And Skubal is out for a week with a herniated disc, so we are going to take him off the roster. So since Kleeman basically just threw a start, he's going to move into the rotation here, since we don't want him pitching in the bullpen and possibly ruining what will be our 4th guy for the rest of this series. And Eric Agro is now on the roster here for the postseason, as Tarek Skubal is on the playoff IL. His postseason is done with a herniated disc. Alrighty, folks, it is Game 2. We are up 1 game in the series. Dax Hardcastle is throwing for us. Taj Bradley is throwing for them. And Miguel Caraballo is actually catching for us on the day. And Castillo is in center field. Dylan O'Reilly's back in the leadoff spot because we're going to mix things up there. Let's get into it here. Hardcastle immediately in some trouble, but then works a ground ball. That's 2 down. Brings up Quentin Young. He goes down swinging. So 3 down. Scoreless frame for Hardcastle. And Dylan O'Reilly with a leadoff double. Or maybe, I don't really know. But with 1 out runner on second here. Little bloop shot from Angel Feliz. And O'Reilly is going to score. RBI base knock for Feliz makes it a 1-0 ball game. And now he's on second base. 3-1 count here for James Wood. Hits it well to center field, but not well enough. That's going to be tracked down, but tagged up from second now. 90 feet away from scoring is Angel Feliz here, but with 2 outs for Luke Corsia, who spits on ball 4. Runners on the corners for Brady Ebel, who watches strike 3. So now we are on to the top of the second. Hardcastle with 2 on, but 2 outs. And the glove-first catcher is, of course, going to bloop one into right field for a base knock to tie the game at 1 apiece. Now to the top of the order with their two-way star. He goes down swinging. We're on to the bottom half of the frame. Nothing else going. Nothing going. And then we take a 2-1 lead on a Dylan O'Ray home run. 3-1 lead. O'Ray homers, and then Harris homers. Back-to-back. Anything else? And now Feliz is on second base here for James Wood, who clobbers one down the right field line. 2-run blast. That's 3 homers in the inning. It's a 5-1 lead here for your Nationals. Huge stuff going on here for this Nationals ball club. Anything else? It's a 6-1 ball game. Rhett Ladder came in. Corsia grounded out. Ebel homered. That's 4 homers in this inning. And then they finally get out of it. So it's a 5-run lead here for Dax Hardcastle to work with. Scoreless frame. Let's just half this. Nothing else going for the offense. Hardcastle scoreless frame. Offense does nothing. Hardcastle, let's just half it. Only gives up a run. It's a 6-2 ball game. And then the offense tacks on 2. We're up by 6. 2-run shot by James Wood. That's his second 2-run homer of the game. Hardcastle, scoreless frame. Offense does nothing. Hardcastle is going to come out of the game now. We're going to let Kevin Yoder attempt to give us some depth. Scoreless frame for him. Offense does nothing. And then we're going to let Eric Agro pitch since he hasn't pitched in forever. All right, in some trouble. Gets out of it from there. 8-2 ball game. We have a 2-0 lead here in the World Series over the Minnesota Twins after an 8-2 victory. James Wood with 4 ribbies on the day, 2 2-run shots. We had 4 home runs in that, was it the third inning? Yeah, 4 home runs in the third inning for us, and then the team just cruised from there on in. It's Game 3, folks, as the series now moves to Minnesota. Robbie Snelling, the left-hander, going for them. We have Cam Schlittler on the bump for us, and Miguel Caraballo is going to catch. He actually is quite a good hitter against lefties, so he's going to be leading off for us as well as the catcher. And then Sirota against the left-hander is back in center field. So top 1 here, as we are threatening. First and second, 1 out here for James Wood. Watches strike 3. So 2 down brings up Corsia. Goes down swinging. Move things on bottom half of the inning. Schlittler, scoreless frame. Nothing going for the offense. Schlittler in some trouble here, but it's 2 outs. Runners on the corners for the light-hitting Patrick Bailey. Ball kept in front of him by Caraballo. And then it's going to be a fly ball to deep right field and caught by James Wood. So scoreless frame there. Offense is clicking. We're up 2-0 now. 2-run shot by Angel Feliz as they've already taken their starter out of the game. He must have gotten hurt. Yeah, because they threw Robbie Snelling. So yeah, must have gotten hurt. And we had a 2-run home run. 2-0 ball game here. Anything else going? No. We're on the bottom of the third. Schlittler in some trouble. First and second, 1 out. Quentin Young, big bopper at the dish. 2-2 count to him is going to be blooped into center field for a base knock. Everyone moves up 90 feet. Ground ball gets Schlittler out of this. Full count to Fenelon. And he walks in the first run of the game for the Twins. And I think we might take Schlittler out here. Yeah, we're going to take him out of the game. We're going to bring in Kevin Yoder to possibly give us a couple innings here and maybe get a couple strikeouts. 1-2 to the first batter he's facing, Adderley. Of course, that's slapped over the head of the first baseman. Down the line, that's going to plate multiple runs. Yep. 2 RBI double makes it a 3-2 Twins lead. Brendan Summerhill is then struck out. Von Lackey is then walked. Patrick Bailey then delivers a base knock. That's going to score probably multiple. 2-run single. It's a 5-2 lead for the Twins. Then he walks another one. Bases juiced. Mason Wynn struck him out. So 5-2 ball game here. We're only down by 3. The offense has shown they can rally from behind that. Not here in the third, though. It's still 5-2. Yoder's not giving us the depth we want here. We are going to turn to Alex Rouse, who is in trouble. Second and third, 1 out here for Adderley. Full count. Off the end of the bat. They don't go home with it, instead go to first, so they get 2 down, runner comes across, that's a 4-run lead. And then Summerhill is walked. And Von Lackey then grounds out, the former Georgia Tech catcher. Top 5. Offense does nothing. Alex Rouse is already into the red. Let's bring in aggro, I guess. In some trouble, of course. Works the ground ball. That's... Oh, it is going to be double play. So 4-6-3 double play. Run does come in, make it 7-2. Aggro gets out of it from there. The offense does nothing. Aggro into the red here. Let's bring in Gottesman, who could possibly give us some depth. Of course, he can't get just a clean inning. They're going to go and swipe third. And we get a deep fly ball. It's probably going to sack fly and score it, make it 8-2. It is indeed. Ooh, maybe not. He's safe. Out of it from there. Offense tacks on 1 more. Clean inning. Offense does nothing. 2 down, runner on second. Walks him. Strikes out the next guy. So we're on to the 9th. Probably a miracle not happening here. No, it's an 8-3 loss. We do not get a sweep, but we're still up 2-1 in the series here, as we took the first 2 games in Washington, and they take the first game here in Minnesota. All right, folks, we are now up only 2-1 in the series here in Game 4 in Minnesota. Mackenzie Gore, the left-hander, going for them. We have Jerry Harris going for us, and as you can see, Luis Hernandez, who's been hitting well this postseason, is leading off for us. And then Tamariz is going to play left field here because Luke Corsia has been struggling as of recently. We're going to give Tamariz a shot against the left-hander. Not that he's a slouch against right-handers, but he's better against lefties, just barely. So he's gonna play for us. Castillo, even as a lefty, is going to play center field because Sirota has just been horrible. And Harry Ford is catching. So let's just dive in here. Top 1. Nothing going for the offense. Jerry Harris, scoreless frame. Of course, we're both wearing navy tops. Nothing going for the offense. And Harris is in trouble. 2-0 count, runner on second. Ground ball back to the pitcher. Harris fields it himself, 1 down. Brings up Kalen Culpepper out of Kansas State. He's struck out. And then Brendan Summerhill out of Arizona is also struck out. So on to the top of the third. Nothing for the offense. Harris scoreless frame. As Wilkin Tamariz is up with runners on the corners and 2 outs. And he skies it into foul territory. First base makes the play. It's still scoreless here onto the bottom of the 4th. Harris scoreless frame. As we are up 1-0. Castillo, a lefty on lefty home run here. Hell yes. Already done more than Mike Sirota this postseason. We have a 1-0 lead. Nothing else going on in the inning. Harris works a scoreless frame. Nothing else going in the top of the 6th. Harris scoreless frame. Cody Bradford on bump for them. And it's 3-0. 2-run home run, lefty on lefty for Brady Ebel. Nothing going in the inning. Harris, runner on second, 1 out. Let's see if he can get through 7. Fenelon grounds out to shortstop. 3 down. Harris, 7 scoreless. We're on to the top of the 8th. Nothing for the offense. Oh, wait, never mind. We're still cooking here. Runner on second, 2 outs for Angel Feliz. The Navy jersey, the 2 Navy jerseys threw me off there. But then Feliz grounds out. Now we're on to the bottom of the 8th. Where, let's see what he can go batter by batter here. Full count to Kalen Culpepper. Struck him out. Brendan Summerhill. Struck him out. Bohan Adderley. Popped up into the infield. That'll be a 1-2-3 inning. We're on to the 9th. James Wood and the boys. Nothing going for the offense. 103 pitches. We're going to see if he can get the complete game shutty. Patrick Bailey, 1-2 count. Struck him out. That's 10 Ks. Cody Thomas. Weak fly ball right field. Blooped in for a hit. Yeah, we're not going to take any risks here. Bobby Matamoros is going to come into the game here. 3-run lead, runner on first. Strikes out the first guy he sees in Mason Wynn. And then Jack Toft comes to the plate. Ground ball to first base. Easy out. 3-0 victory for the Washington Nationals as we are now up 3-1 here in the World Series. 1 win away from repeating as champions. Huge game from Jerry Harris today. Absolutely ridiculous on the mound. Didn't do anything on the bump, or at the plate rather, but 8 1/3, 2 hits, no runs, no walks, 10 Ks, and then Matamoros does his thing to close it out. His 5th save of the postseason. Big time stuff. Alrighty, folks, we are 1 win away from securing a back-to-back World Series championship. And Cody Thomas, their 2-way guy, is going for them. We have Eric Kleeman going because Tarek Skubal is out for the rest of the playoffs. He is the guy that we are going with. We could start Hardcastle on short rest, but I'm just going to go with, we have a 3-1 lead. We're going to go with Eric Kleeman here, who is a similar pitcher with the control and the movement here. So I'm thinking that he's going to be working a lot of ground balls. So my reasoning for playing Ronnie Cruz at second base today is that rather than have O'Ray, who's not a great defender at second, we have Cruz, who is a great defender at second, paired up with Feliz, and then Hernandez and Ebel with just elite infield defense. So we're going to work a lot of ground balls, get a lot of good defense. Tamariz is in left field again. We're giving him a chance. Forward back behind the plate. Let's get into it here. Top 1. Runner on second base, 2 outs for James Wood. They're walking him. They're scared of James Wood, and they're getting to Tamariz, who's going to deliver with a bloop single into right field. That's going to score 1 as we take a 1-0 lead. Never mind. I got ahead of myself. Bases juiced, 2 outs. As then Brady Ebel just grounds out the second base, and we strand the bases loaded. So we're on to the bottom of the first. Kleeman in some trouble, runner on second, 1 out for Quentin Young, who is going to bloop 1 into left field. But it's in left field. Tamariz has a strong arm. What the hell is this view? They don't test it. Runners on the corners for Fenelon. Ground ball to second base. This is why he's at second. 4-6-3 double play gets us out of it. Still 0-0. Top 2. Offense threatening. Runner on second here. Nobody out for Castillo, who's going to pull 1 into right field, right at Adderley. Runner stays put. Ronnie Cruz. 0-2 pitch. Into the corner, fought off. RBI double, Ronnie Cruz. 1-0 Nationals lead. Brings up top of the order with Luis Hernandez, who goes down swinging. Then it brings up Jerry Harris, who proceeds to pop one up to left field for the final out of the inning. So we are now on to the bottom half of the second. Eric Kleeman works a scoreless frame. The offense does nothing. Kleeman in some trouble, but it's 2 outs. Works a ground ball. Cruz makes the play. Next batter up. Or now it's on the top of the 4th. Offense threatening, but it's a runner on second with 2 outs. As Hernandez delivers into the fog in right center field. That's going to be extra bases. Is that a triple? That's an RBI triple for Luis Hernandez. Makes it a 2-0 lead here for the Nationals. Jerry Harris then digs in and swings at a pitch that hit him. So bottom 4 here. Kleeman in some trouble. Runner on second, 1 out. The Kansas State Wildcat proceeds to go down the right field line, and that's going to put the Twins' first run on the board. RBI double by Culpepper. Cuts our lead in half. Brings up Yanquiel Fernandez. Not Hernandez. Fernandez. And that is absolutely destroyed. 2-run blast. Dead center field. My goodness. 3-2 Twins lead. And they're still going. Runner on second, 1 out. Adderley is plunked. But then Patrick Bailey grounds out to out number 2. Runners on second and third now. Full count to Cody Thomas is taken out to left center field, but tracked down by Castillo. Move things on top 4. Weaver on second base for Wilkin Tamariz, who grounds one back to the pitcher. 2 down. Brings up Brady Ebel. Watches strike 3. We're on to the bottom of the 5th. We're not going to get too ahead of ourselves with Kleeman here. We are going to bring in Miguel Sime to maybe give us 2 innings out of the pen. And of course, he immediately gives up a home run to go down 2 runs. Gets out of it from there. Offense proceeds to do nothing. Sime works a scoreless frame. Hernandez, Harris, Feliz due up. And we have runners on the corners, but 2 outs for Wilkin Tamariz, who grounds one out to third base. Nothing going. So we strand 2, still down 2. Let's, even with the lefties coming up, let's bring in Herrera, because it's been forever since he's pitched. As he proceeds to work a scoreless frame. And we have Ebel, Ford, Castillo due up. What's Ebel going to do? Just a ground at the second base. Of course. Brings up Harry Ford, who is terrible. We're going to pinch hit with Dylan O'Ray. Slow roller, but not so. Oh, error at first base. O'Ray reaches. So we have a runner on first here for Josh DiCastillo, who we are going to let hit here. Ground ball. They turned that into a double play. Are you kidding me? That is crazy. With his speed, too? That's insane. So now Caraballo comes in to catch. And we're going to go batter by batter here with Herrera to make sure that it doesn't get too crazy. Quentin Young hits one to deep right center field, and that's going to be off the wall, of course. First batter just peppers one off the wall. And we're immediately going to bring in Rodriguez to see if he can strike out these guys with nobody out and runner on second. Fenelon. Ground ball to third base. That's 1 down. Brings up Kalen Culpepper. Another ground ball, moves the runner to third, but it's 2 down. And then Fernandez, who homered his last time up, is struck out. So keeps it 4-2 like we wanted him to. And now down to our final frame here. We do not want to let them get back in this series here. So Cruz. I guess we could do something to where, like, Ebel could move to third, Tamariz could go to first, if we pinch hit for Cruz here. We're gonna do it. Luke Corsia. On the ground to second base, that's 1 down. Then it brings up Luis Hernandez. Right back to the pitcher, that's 2 down. Jerry Harris. That's hit well, but over the head of the center fielder. Let's go. That's extra bases, possibly a triple. It is indeed. 2-out triple for Jerry Harris. And the tying run is at the plate in Angel Feliz. And he pops it up to the infield. First pitch swinging, too. So, 3-2 series now. They still need to win 2. We need to win 1. All right, so Tarek Skubal suffered a setback, but Evan Hollick suffered a setback as well, who was able to pitch through this stuff because it was a non-significant injury to his arm. So now we have to take him out because he's out. He's not able to pitch. He's on the playoff IL. Alrighty, folks. It is Game 6. We are still up 3-2 in the series here. We can clinch the World Series with a win. And we, rather than adding another pitcher to the postseason roster, because we really don't have another pitcher I would have liked to add, we are adding Miguel Fonseca to our roster here. He is playing first base on the day. Brady Ebel is playing third base. Hernandez shifts over to second base. And Angel Feliz is playing shortstop still. And then Harry Ford's catching. Castillo's at center. Dax Hardcastle is on the bump. They have Taj Bradley going. Let's get into it. As immediately, Hardcastle's in trouble. First and second, nobody out. Topped ground ball. Hernandez makes the play, 1 down. Brings up Quentin Young. Pitch kept in front by Ford, but it's a 3-1 count, now full. And then a strikeout. Comes from behind to strike him out, so 2 down. Brings up Fenelon, who grounds one at the shortstop for out number 3. So, bit shaky, but a scoreless frame nonetheless. Bottom 1. Nothing going for the offense. Hardcastle scoreless frame. Offense doing nothing. Hardcastle scoreless frame, nothing. Hardcastle in trouble. Second and third, 2 outs for Kalen Culpepper, who skies one to center field for out number 3. So on to the bottom of the 4th. Runner on second with 1 out for James Wood. Full count to him. That's going to be hit down the right field line into the corner. That's extra bases. The Nationals will strike first in this one here in the 4th. 1-0 is your lead. RBI double for James Wood. Brings up Luke Corsia. Back in the lineup today. And of course just pops this one up for out number 2. Brings up Brady Ebel, who they walk to get to Miguel Fonseca, who goes down swinging. And now it's Harry Ford. Oh, never mind. This is top of the 5th, rather. First batter up there, grounds out. Hardcastle scoreless frame. Offense does nothing. Hardcastle scoreless frame. Offense does nothing. We are going to take Hardcastle out of the game here in a 1-0 game. In the 7th, lefty, righty, and then Bailey. I mean, he's bad against both. Culpepper, lefty. Yeah, let's bring in a lefty. let's bring in Wellington Herrera in the 7th inning. In some trouble, runner on second with 1 out. Patrick Bailey, full count. Spits on ball 4. Now it's Bohan Adderley, who's going to fly 1 out to right field for out number 2. Runner does tag up to third. The throwdown is not in time, as now they have a right-hander in. We're going to bring in a right-hander. We're not messing around here. Let's go C-May. 1-2 to Cody Thomas. And of course he delivers, and it's a tie ball game. And they're still threatening. Runners on the corners. Mason Wynn goes down swinging, but it's now a 1-1 ball game. Bottom 7, Ben Joyce on the bump. Corsia, Ebel, Fonseca due up. Corsia going down the right field line, breaking out of the slump with some extra bases, possibly a triple. Nope, not quite. Double, we'll take it. With his speed out there in scoring position to lead off the inning, brings up Brady Ebel. I forgot, I should have put Ford, then Fonseca, just to break up the swing and miss here with these back-to-back guys, but they're going to intentionally walk Ebel to get to Fonseca, who goes down swinging. Then it brings up Ford, who's been horrible. Luckily spits on ball 4. Bases juiced for Castillo. Even though O'Rea's been terrible, I'm tempted to pinch hit Dylan O'Rea. We're going to do it. Dylan O'Rea comes in to pinch hit. And grounds 1 at the shortstop. All right, so they get the runner at the plate, but they don't get the double play. And now it's Luis Hernandez with a chance to bust this game open. Full count, spit on ball 4, please. That works too. Down the line, Luis Hernandez delivers. He's had a bunch of big hits this postseason, and that one may be the biggest. A 2-run single makes it a 3-1 lead for the Nationals late in Game 6, as they can smell their back-to-back championships. 2-2 count to Jerry Harris. Swung on, swung through. So we are now on to the 8th, where Mike Sirota is going to come in to play center field. And, you know what, let's make some defensive replacements here. We're going to move Hernandez back to third. Ebel's going to go to first. And Ronnie Cruz is going to come in to play second. So we got that elite infield defense in there. Good outfield defense in there as well. Maybe in the 9th, because Wood's going to hit next inning, but maybe in the 9th we'll bring in Tamers to play right field as well. But C-May here, let's let him pitch the 8th. Scoreless frame, fantastic. On to the bottom of the 8th. Nothing going. And now we're going to do that thing. Tamariz is going to come in to play right field. Get us some extra defense out there. And we are turning to Bobby Matamoros with a 2-run lead in the 9th inning. 3 outs away from back-to-back World Series championships. First batter up is Yankel Fernandez. 1-2 count to him. Struck him out. Curveball at the back foot. 1 down. Brings up Kalen Culpepper. Ball 4. Brings up Patrick Bailey with a runner on first. Plunked. And the tying run is at the plate. Or no, the go-ahead run is at the plate. Jesus. Adderley struck him out. And now it's Cody Thomas. This is who the Twins want up in this situation. 0-2 count to him. That's skied. Shallow left field. Hernandez makes the play, and we've done it. The Washington Nationals have done it. Back-to-back World Series champions. 2033 and 2034 after, 3 straight first round exits, and then boom, immediately into a powerhouse of a postseason team here. Big time stuff. 3-1 victory, well pitched, situational hitting. Hernandez with 2 hits, Feliz with 2 hits. Only 7 hits on the day, but it was enough to get it done. Dax Hardcastle was phenomenal through 6. Herrera wasn't his best, but Sime was good, and Matamoros getting to save his 6th of the postseason on the hill for another World Series championship. I think last year he didn't pitch in the postseason, remember? Because he was hurt, and it was Bautista on the bump for us to close things out. So this is his first one for us, actually pitching in the clinching game. As the series MVP, Jerry Harris didn't have a great first couple rounds, but in the World Series, he puts it together. 304, 385, 609 slash line, 7 hits, a home run, and 23 ABs. You know, you could have gave it to Luis Hernandez. I feel like, honestly, Luis Hernandez probably deserved it a bit more. But, or I guess that's just with hitting. Because Harris had that big time, what was it, Game 4? Yeah, the 3-0 game in Game 4 where he went 8 1/3, 2 hits, no runs, no walks, and 10 Ks. So that definitely factored into it, his getting the series MVP. But Luis Hernandez, huge series from him. Angel Feliz was big. James Wood had a couple big hits, 3 home runs from Brady Ebel. Team gets it done. That's another World Series championship here for the Washington Nationals. Took 6 games this time. Let's go.